The word get is a verb. The dictionary defines it as receiving or having possession, use, or enjoyment of, coming to a specified place, arriving, reaching, and lastly, to succeed, to become enabled, or to be permitted. So with all that said, did you get it? Good. Welcome to Get the Podcast.
You better get it while the getting's good. It won't be long until I'm gone in all likelihood. Misinformed is an excuse, be the engine that could. I know my roots, I know my rights, and still misunderstood. I'm getting to it.
Hey, what's up, people? It's your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC. And Get the Pod is a micro pod where I give my 2 cents, a couple quarters, and a few dollars on some hot button issues in not only the Black community, but the overall global community. All of the episodes will be under 20 minutes with the goal of, hopefully, getting you to the point of fruitful and meaningful conversations with those in your immediate friend groups and circles. So, you got it now?
Yep.
You get it yet?
Think so.
Good. Let's go.
All right, y'all. So I realized, my good neighbors, I realized that I was going to have to expound upon this some more because, if you listen to the previous episode, I talk about Octavia Butler and I talk about how she classifies God as change, right? And so it's a really, really heavy concept. And so I thought I'd give a Cliff Notes version of that, right? Based on my own interpretation and thoughts mixed with hers, right? So I'm taking my own personal experience, my years of research into different religions and different trains of thought and different beliefs. And I'm taking some of her beliefs and I'm mixing it in with mine to give you guys kind of like a Cliff Notes version of that. So the first thing I want to say, that concept, that really, really big concept can be taken and broken down into 3 steps, right? Into 3 things. And it's funny because I've been pitching. I've been having to learn how to do pitches for business purposes. And so I've learned that the human brain, the part that processes logic and reason, it's closely tied to the mammalian brain. And we as humans work best with things in 3s. Anything more than 3 usually gets a little, people tune out. It's hard to lose. It's hard to keep up with. So I'm going to keep it simple in 3 simple steps. So the first way to think about Octavia Butler's belief, her ideal is this. It's the universal law of energy, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be displaced. Say it again. Energy can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be displaced. So what we're saying here is that anything that is made up of energy cannot die. Everything in our world is made up of energy or matter, right? Matter is the building blocks. Energy is what creates matter, right? So everything in this world is made up of energy. Everything has an energetic signature or frequency. That thing cannot be destroyed. Energy cannot be destroyed. Matter cannot be destroyed. It simply changes form. It changes shape. It changes direction. It changes itself. But it doesn't destroy itself. It is not reborn. It simply changes the form in which it was previously conceived. So that's the first thing. The second thing, to quote Octavia Butler, is that all that you touch, you change, and all that you change changes you. So all that you touch, everything that you come into contact with, you affect in some way, on a molecular level, on an energetic level, whatever. Everything that you come into contact with, you affect. And those things that you affect also have the effect of affecting you. The third thing is going to be, and this is a mind fuck, change is God, God is change, right? When you think about everything that I just said, everything is matter. Matter is made up of energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be displaced. In other words, it changes its form. Everything that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. And then lastly, God is change, right? If we think about what God would be, God is something that is constant, ever-present, effervescent, and is always there. The only thing in this universe, right, and possibly the multiverse, that does not change is change itself, right? I don't ascribe to using the word God or deity per se, because I do not like what it means. So the word God to me, the ideal of God to me, we have as humans made it so sacrosanct. We've made it so untouchable, so unfathomable, so esoteric, so abstract that it's intangible. It becomes something that we cannot grasp and we cannot hold. And that is not what God is. God is change, because everything that you touch, you change, and all that you change changes you. So it means that everybody is God. Everything is God. The only thing that is truly God is change, right? And I never liked that word, because it's like change is malleable. You can shape change into what you want it to be. Change affects you, and then you do with what you wish or will with the change that change has brought to you, right? And so it's like, in that way, God is malleable. It is essentially tangible. You can hold change. Well, you might not. No, you can literally hold change. You can make something change. I can take a flat piece of paper and I can ball it up into my hand. I have changed that paper. That paper has changed me, right? I have affected that on a molecular level. That paper has affected me on a molecular level. You can change everything. Change is so malleable. It's around us every day. It is something that we inherently have control over. And so for me, to think of God as this esoteric, untangible, so highly above you thing is false. And it has never felt right with me. It has never felt okay with me. I have never felt like God was out of my reach or out of my control or not under my influence, right? The same way that I would be under his. It just never made sense to me. To quote Frank Ocean, he said, human beings to a mob, what's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? And then what's a god to a non-believer? He summarized all of this shit up so beautifully, right? And this is how I have always thought about God. I have never, ever thought of God in a sense to where God was untouchable, or God was unreachable, or God was so above me and the people around me that that he, she, it, whatever needed to be revered. It was untouchable. I said, because it would seem to me that God needs us just as much as we need God, right? And it would be foolish to think otherwise. Because what is your God to me if I don't believe in him? It's simply a thought in your brain, and I don't have to, it's simply a thought and an opinion in your brain, and I am not required to respect you or your thoughts, and thereby I'm not required to respect your God. Your God means nothing to me. And that is always how I have viewed it, right? And it's just, like I said, it's so wild to have, like, my thoughts and my feelings validated, because that shit is deep, bro. Like, it's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep. That's all I can say. It's so deep. I'm speechless because it's so deep. It's so profound. It puts everything squarely into perspective for you if you allow yourself the humility and the humbleness to actually accept it and to believe it and to use it and to grow with it and to change it, right? Don't let change you and then you do nothing with the change. That is stupid. That is asinine. That defeats the purpose of life. That is letting life happen to you instead of you happening to life. Don't do that. All right? Be the change that you want to see by changing all that you touch and allowing what you touch to change you. I'm out. Peace.
Get the Podcast is a production from the OVT Network, with original artwork by Kenzo Sturdivant and original music by Sincerely Blit. The podcast is hosted and edited by me, Your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC. If you found value in anything I've said here today, please subscribe, like, share, and comment on YouTube or Instagram at the OVT Network. You can also connect with me, JC, on IG at JC from the OVT. Got to keep it simple, right? Don't forget to rate us 5 stars and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever your podcasts are casted. And lastly, did you know that if you share this podcast with just one person, we would double in size the community? So, with that being said, get to sharing, goddammit. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you listening. Peace.